Wagwan, everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. A good morning to you from beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Although I can't see it, it's totally dark out. So I'm in the dark. Thanks for joining us here at the Wednesday morning London. It's not London, it's New York. Okay, not awake as yet. New York open session of the stock market for the stock market. As usual, with me is Mr. George Pitcher from New Jersey.
Good morning from sunny New Jersey right now.
And on the East Coast, you can see sunshine. That's nice.
Oh yes,
That's great.
it's only 31 degrees though, Fahrenheit.
31?
Yeah.
What? Okay, that's right on the cusp of freezing there, George.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Looks like the market will be opening up a little bit on the downside this morning. So I'm just going to get everything ready. I'm kind of going to do something a little different today. I'm going to put 60, 50. So I usually have these all on the 1 minute and so forth. I'm going to put this one on the 60, this one on the 15, this one on the 5, and the one that and IWM that I always play on the 1, because I just want to kind of see the overall pattern and how it plays out. It's interesting that it's opening low this morning, because based on the hourly, it looks like we have we know that we're at a fourth wave and we have another push. The 15-minute also looks like it could have pushed one more time. And the 5-minute looks like it. We had a 1, 2, 3. We could have pushed higher as well. So it all depends on how far down this opens, I suppose. But if we breach this low at the open, then and this low at the open, then definitely we're heading down, right? However, if not, we're going to be if we're anywhere in this area, we might still bounce. So we'll see how that opens. So this guy I'll put on the 1 minute.
It's ASAN you have there.
Oh, is this ASAN?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It is. Oh, so yeah, something very interesting about ASAN. I hope Martin joins us this morning, because that. Yeah, very, very interesting with ASAN. I wonder if it's still. Let's see. Oh yeah, there. Oh no, it's refreshing, so it might not be there anymore. Let's see. It was there without me refreshing. Well, let's see if it's still on the list. No, it's not there anymore. Okay. So the bell's going to go off in a couple more minutes here, guys. Just kind of preliminary banter here. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you could, of course, only our members can talk with me. So, okay, what's going on here? Come on. It adds up. No, it's no longer on the list. Okay, so let me see if I think I made a copy of the page. Yes, I did. Yay. Okay, so there's ASAN. Let me clear all this stuff off. Oops. There's ASAN right there.
Is that today or from yesterday?
This is from the 11th.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'll chat about that in a bit. Okay,
Okay,
the
we
battle is
open
on.
big time
Let's
down.
let's see what goes on with this battle here. All right, we go back. Ooh, look at that! It opened like right on the edge of the abyss. That's so close. Okay, just like what I was saying there, it all depends on where that opens. So huge down. All right. So yesterday I decided to buy puts on these guys because I just had a feeling that this move to the upside was complete, but we'll see if I was correct or not as it plays out. So let me just switch time frames here so that I can get there it is. Switch this one, go back to the one. Come on. Oh no, it's doing that again, George.
What's that?
No, it doesn't want to load to one minute here. Let's see. It's give me invalid symbol. Oh, that's very annoying. Okay. All right.
No. That looks more like what I have.
I need to go to the 1 minute time frame. It won't let me go to the 1 minute time frame. Wow, that's amazing. Let's try again.
No, I'm on a tick chart, but they're looking pretty close.
Come on, come on, come on. Show it to me. It will not go to the 1 minute time frame. That is awful. Okay, let's see if I can get it here over on Trading View. And 1 minute. Okay. So we are already 2 minutes in. So initial thought was, okay, this would be a possible 1, 2, 3, and then we get this move to the upside from it, but it's broken the low, so that's totally off. We have to look for a new 1, 2, 3. We have a 1, 2, 3 top, and that's taking us down to this level. So now we're bouncing. So not really ready to jump into any positions long or short at this moment in time because we're sort of sitting at the cusp. So we could get a push back up into this area first, and then we can collapse, or we could go this way, but well, it looks very weak overall. So let's see. I'm going to go over to the Forex world here and take a look at some stuff. Yeah, I was just doing some testing of our EAs there yesterday, George. I wanted you to test something for me, George. So with that 10-year look back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can chat about that later. Let me get rid of these guys. Close, 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 close. Okay, there's my 4. All right, so in the Forex here, we also have the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the US 2000. Let me put this guy on the 1 minute. Okay, it's a little different chart. Oh, so you see it's really trying to push back at this point. I do the same thing here. I'm going to put this one on the hourly, put this one on the 15, which it is, and this one on the 5. Okay, so that gives me okay, you can see it's really trying to push back. So it looks like we're actually going to be heading up after this opening start. So let me go back.
Yeah, well, we are in a retrace right now.
Let me go back to here. Yeah, you can see it's really pushing. So does it have enough oomph is the question now to really.
You're almost at 50%. It looks like it might have hit the 50%.
Okay, this is just not doing it for me here. So let me, I'm going to refresh this entire screen. Let me see if I can get it back working. Okay, bear with me a second, and I will just go over what we're trying to do here.
Okay, as of this time while you're refreshing, it looks like we hop back approximately 50% retrace, and now it's looking like it wants to resume the down move, but it's too early to tell if that is indeed the case.
This is the SPY on the 5. Let's see if I can get this now on the 1. IWM on the 1 minute. Give it to me. There we go. Okay, now it's working. All right. So I have the hourly over here. So this gives me a more of a bird's eye view of the chart and what's going on. The 15-minute gives me a semi bird's eye view. So I can see that we've come up to this level. We're having a hard time breaking through. We're dropping just like we're just right here. And then on this one, looks like we've completed 5 waves because we basically broke that high, but not by much. And now it looks like it wants to fall, which is kind of interesting. I was expecting a push to the upside first. At that point, I wanted to buy some puts, but I went ahead yesterday and bought puts ahead of time, just in case that it did open up low. I'm not sure if there's news about the Russian thing going on there, but that might have had some bearing on what's going on this morning. Make this big. All right, so let's make this big and we can see what's going on. So we know where we are in our structure. We just breached that area. We opened up a little on the low side and we're kind of sitting right here on the chart. So we would expect to move back into this area and then a push to the downside. That will be the most likely scenario. So we'll see if that plays out. So let's look at this from a higher point of view, from the airplane view. So we're way up in the air looking at the coastline. This is the way I like to look at the chart to get an overall view of where we are. And you can see, and then I can see my structure overall. So this is from 2009. And there's our first 1, 2, 3. This is the controlling move for this entire push. And so that takes us up to the third wave. So in Elliott wave terms, this is what we are seeing for, and then we push up to number 5. And so that tells us that we're in an A wave at this moment in time, and near the bottom of it. We haven't finished it yet. More than likely, I think we have another push to come, and then we'll get a push back up, which would form a head and shoulders pattern, which can of course go sideways like the other one did. We could go sideways up here and so forth. And then
that can take a couple of months to form.
Yeah, this took a year.
Yeah.
So this can take a long time for sure. So this could push up for quite a while. Bring back some euphoria into the market. Things might look good there for a while, but then by 2023, as you can see, we could start coming back down again. But the end of 2020, okay, we're in 2020. Yeah, by the end of 2023 or so, we could be back up to where we were originally. But right now we're in a struggle, as it seems there. So on the weekly time frame, we can see this pattern again. So we have a controlling 1, 2, 3. So there's our controlling in Elliott wave terms again, 1, 2, 3, and this would be our 4. So we go up, come across, and then our 5. And then again, we're in an A wave. So same kind of thing. Are we done at this point? It's possible that we're done, but we also could have, like, again, one more push down, and then we'll have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move back up. That would give us our shoulder on this side, and then we coming down. So you can see, again, similar pattern playing out. Okay, so our objective, is to find 1, 2, 3s. So we're looking for 1, 2, 3s like this. There's one right down here that started this entire thing, just like there's one here that started this move to the downside. And that's what we're looking for. There's one here that started the next move, and so on. So every time there is a turn in the markets on a grand scale or on a minute scale, down to the 1 minute chart, even to the seconds, there is a 1, 2, 3 that starts everything off. And that's our little secret. It's not even a secret, because I'm telling you, it's our little way of playing the markets, by finding these turns and jumping in when there is an opportune time. Okay, so looking now, we'll come down to the daily. We're looking at this. There's the 1, 2, 3 that started that move to the downside, took us down to this level here. So you can see again the structure's played out to this level, and then a new 1, 2, 3 starts this next move down to this area. There's a structure again, comes back up. So either we're done at this point, this entire move, or we still have another. This could be our 1, 2, 3. Make that 2 a little bigger. 3, 4, and we have another drop to come that would break this low, which could take a while, or maybe not. It could go really quick. But it's either we're doing that, or we're done and we're going to push out of here. But I think it's more likely this scenario still to come. Okay, so especially with the interest rates still in the air and all that, when that comes to fruition, I'm sure that the market's not going to take that too well, even though everybody's expecting it. So this is on the daily. So again, this kind of looks like we're in a 4th wave area at this point. And drop down to the 4 hour, let's go down time frame by time frame, and we are, I think I drew this out on Monday morning. I kind of said we were in this channel, and we could do this kind of chop and then drop. That's totally possible still. We could still push up to the upside here before we come down. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing there. It's still battling, trying to do that, I would think. So here we are on the hourly. So I'm going to put those lines on, and not that guy. Let me do it again. Put this over here and get my array. Okay, so put a line like that, and one like this. Okay, so we're inside this channel like that. Whoops. And again, it's possible that we could still, just like how we get a pullback here and we pushed up, and that's actually like this. And then like you can see the structure plays out all the time. It might not be as crisp and nice as I draw it, but it's always there. So it is possible that we could do this and then and chop up like that to this level. That's totally possible, and then come back down again, and then drop something like that. That's totally plausible. So we could be like that. So we have to be aware of that. You know, this takes, let me put that back, because this takes quite a while to play out. As you can see, you know, it's taking days and days. You know, this is a few days just from peaks to peaks. This is 1.5 days. So this could take till Friday basically to play out. It's either that or we're done at this point and that's our 1, 2, 3 and we're heading straight down. That's also possible. But if this was a 3 from when we looked at the entire chart there and we came down to this level and this is our 3, then it's more than likely this scenario that I've drawn here. This is more than likely the scenario that will play out. However, we could, like I say, do this at this point, but usually it's 3 and then we'll have an A and then a B and a C and a D. So what I'm doing here is just projecting out into the future what the likely scenario is on the chart. So I do that all the time to kind of get an idea of, you know, and have an expectation of what the chart's going to do. And you need to have an expectation, and the Elliott wave really helps to help you to see that, to formulate a potential move before it even occurs. Hence, that's the reason I can jump in and make decisions based on what I expect the pattern to do. Okay, so now let's go down to the 15-minute. I'm going to go to the 30. I don't usually go to the 30, but let's drop it to the 30. Okay, so we're inside of our channel, as you can see. Just put these precisely on these candles. Okay, so all right, so like I say, we could do this push. So it looks like that's totally possible at this point. And down to the 15. Okay, so we're making a little bit of a comeback right now. So here's our structure from this level 1, 2 up to 3, 4 and done. So we're doing this. So are we done at this point? Probably not, right? We could get a similar type of, we could get another move back down.
Like you're a little bit beyond 62% of that downward swing.
Yes, so you're talking about the entire move from here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, we're inside of a channel. So because we're inside of a channel, and we're here in the channel at this point, we're kind of right in the middle of this channel. You know, we're right in the middle. Right?
You're at E level.
Yeah, so we could, you know, pull back and then push again to the upside of this channel.
Right.
So that's what I'm kind of seeing, totally formulating right now. So let me go back down to the 5-minute. Let me see if there's an opportunity. Okay, so what can happen here? Let's see, get my fib retracement. So this entire move to the upside, we can put the fibs on to see where 50% area. So here's the 50% to 62% area. So this is a key area here. So we could come in back into this area, and you can see there's a huge gap here as well, and then make a bounce back to the upside from here. So that's kind of possibly what's happening at this moment in time, because now it's forming a larger 1, 2, 3 top, and I'll be looking to buy some more puts. If we get pushed back up into the 205.50 area, I'll look to buy some more puts for this play to the downside. I have the 204 puts at this. I think that's what I have. Let me just check my account here. Monitor IWM. Where are you? The 204 puts. Yes.
Okay, the NASDAQ is the futures is the biggest drop of 1.18%, followed by the Russell, which is 0.57%, then the S&P 500, which is 0.5% down.
Yeah, so there, so okay, let me just fix that line here. right onto that candle. Okay, so here is the structure played out completely. Okay, so now the expected move would be back up into this area. So at this point here, buying an option is it's not a great buy at this buy for a call or put at this point. We're just sort of in between area, and there's not much. We need a big move to get us out to the downside or out to the upside. Like I say, I'm expecting a further drop unless something dramatically changes here. But so I really wouldn't be looking to buy a put at this point, because we're still, so this is now is creating a 1, 2, 3 bottom. I don't expect it to break this level as yet. I would still expect a further move to the upside. So what we're seeing now is in real time our structure playing out, and this really helps you to kind of get an idea of how even from the monthly time frame, how the market actually plays out in this structure that I drew. It plays out all the time in the same kind of fashion. So we are at this point in the structure, we're down here, we're right at this level now. And so the expected move would be to the upside. So understanding, so if this was a monthly time frame, like we looked at when I first started the chart, this would be back in 2009 down here. And then we catch, that move all the way up to our current time, which is where we are somewhere here in 2022. So we're kind of like up here, right? So this is where we are right now. If I'm wrong, then this will break this level. If I'm correct, then so that would be a breach. Then this should bounce.
Okay, the charts of the four indices that I'm looking at, all of their MACDs are below the water line, and most of the candles are red at this point. So it's push higher is still going to be a struggle, it looks like.
It is definitely going to be a struggle. So it's looking like it wants to breach that low. Of course, the 1, 2, 3 can come back to 100% retrace before it goes. That's totally possible for it to come 100%. And so it's very close right now, and it's broken it. So I am
very close. Yeah.
This move here. So we have to look for a new 1, 2, 3. So this basically is a 3, and then this is a 4. So this is how sometimes it works. That like it plays that way. All right. So let's see if we get.
I think we're
so
just.
My puts are looking good right now because I bought the 204s. So I can. Where are they? Yeah, they're. Puts were looking good. Okay. I'll put a closing order on that just.
Yeah, break 204 area looks like it's going to be a critical move.
Okay, so again, 1, 2. So now this becomes 3, 4. So now we'll get our 1, 2, 3 in here somewhere. that will push us back to the upside, I would think at this time. So it'll more than likely create a head and shoulders pattern in here type of thing. All right, so my 204s did have a little bit of profit there. Now it's 5 minute and take a look at it. Okay. So we've come right back down to previous support. I think I'll hold on to. I won't sell at this point because my expectation is that it's still going to come back down. So we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like 204 is a line in the sand to penetrate at this point.
So if this breaks,
takes us back to 2 days to Monday.
if this breaks right away here, that's very, very weak. That's a serious amount of weakness. But I don't expect it to do that. So on the 1 minute chart. Okay, so we're going to see a 1, 2, 3 formula form here and then push back to the upside. All right, so let's take a quick look at the futures. And yeah, looking on the Dow, looking rather bleak. The NASDAQ also very weak. The S&P also very weak. Only the Russell is kind of didn't drop as much. It's really battling, but these guys just total red here.
Well, he's on the 1 minute that Russell you have.
Yes, he's on the 1 minute. So let's take a look at S&P on the 1 minute as well. Yeah, so a lot more red here than over here.
Yeah.
Let's see. And the NASDAQ, go to the 5. Okay. And a lot more red here as well.
Yeah, the NASDAQ has been the hardest to hit, it looks like.
So there we get that. Now we're getting that big bounce back up.
Yeah.
So time to, and this guy is on the hourly 15, big, huge drop, 5, big, huge drop, and on the 1, yeah, very weak. Okay, so let me go back to here. All right, so there's the push. So we should get a 1, 2, 3 forming here now. That should push us one more time back up into this area. So that'll be okay. So this is again another slow morning because there's no dynamic push in one direction. It's more of a battle zone going on here. You can see where it's trying to make up its mind what to do. So again, the overall structure has taken us to this level, and you know, the expected move would be this way at this point, based on everything that we're seeing here. Back to this level, like I say, back down into this zone. And from here, we can then push back up one more time because again, we have to remember where we are overall. We're inside of a channel. If you keep that in mind, where you are, then you know that's what helps you. But if you come down to this level and you forget about where you are in the overall scheme of things, you can go totally wrong in here and make the wrong decisions. Okay. Now is Martin with us this morning?
Sorry for being tardy.
Yes, Martin.
Martin, I wanted to. I don't know if you noticed that I went to the let me just go off here for a minute to this. I went to the insider trading activity. I had to take a screenshot of it because it changes every day, of course. So this was on the 11th of February. Asan, the chairman again, Mr. Dustin Moskowitz, he's no fool. He bought another 1.25 million shares. That's at $63.
Unbelievable.
And took in another cool $79 million or more at this time. I think before he took in 70, whatever that was, 70 million or whatever. He took in another huge payday there. So definitely someone who's in the know. So let me just go to Asan. So I don't know if you're still in it.
Oh, I'm weeping. I closed it.
You close it? Okay, no problem. I mean, you took some profit. I still hung on to it. Maybe to my chagrin here because it's dropped down today, but let's see, let's go to the daily. So Asan was up at 145, 48, 45, something like that. Yeah, 45 area. I can tell you exactly. The high was 145.79. So you can see again, it created a 1, 2, 3 top and dropped down to this level, all the way down. There's a structure. Then it created a 1, 2, 3 bottom. So at this point down here at $45 or something like that, that gentleman, Mr. Moskowitz, bought 1.2 million shares. So this was way back in January 20th to be exact. He bought 1.2 million shares, 1.25 million shares. So at that time, I told everyone that this will be a good buy, because a good opportunity, because he obviously knows something. And of course, our structure has played out. So if our structure has played out, then it's an opportunity for this to go back up. So the expected move now would be, a head and shoulders type pattern, which is our larger 1, 2, 3. So you can see it's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll get this move. So he's more than likely going to pick up more shares and so on as this plays out. But so he's picked up another bunch, and I'll show you on the lower time frame. Let's come down to the 4 hour. So we jumped in. I jumped in and bought the 60 calls when price was down in here, and it formed a 1, 2, 3 bottom and took off. My 60 calls I bought for about $145, and they were worth $800 when I sold them. They were actually worth more, but I didn't sell at the high. So they were all over about $1,000, $1,100 or so. So $145 to $800. If we got a calculator, let's just see what's that return on that, ROI on that. Let's do a quick calculation here. 800 divided by 145 times 100 gives us 551.72% ROI. Wow. If you like ROIs, that's the kind of return just for one contract, guys. Just one. So
over 10 days time frame.
Sorry, Martin?
Over 10 days holding time, didn't you?
Yeah, in 10 days, that's, this is the kind of return. So I hung on. I kept sold the most. What I do is if I buy, I sell. I buy 10, I get rid of 8 here, and then I keep a couple to continue. So that's the plan of attack. So when we had the pullback, so let me go down another time frame to the hourly. So you can see that here's, the clear pattern here, 1, 2, 3 bottom. We'll get another 1, 2, 3 at this point, takes us up to this level. So I got out right here, waited for the pullback, and I'm expecting that. I thought, okay, maybe I should buy some more. So, but instead I decided just to hold on to a couple, and so they've pushed up nicely. So he's bought again right back here in the 63 area. So this guy definitely knows what's going on, and good for him. That's beautiful. That's the move. So again, seeing the overall structure, this is what it's all about. Understanding the structure, know where you are in the structure, and then you can take advantage of these kind of moves. And the options are just super powerful. I mean, you're spending, like $150, commissions and all that stuff. $150 to make $1,000 or $800 or whatever. I mean, it's just astounding. Simply astounding. This is what we're trying to show you and teach you. You can earn while you learn. This is you're putting out your risk here is just minute. When you think about it, this is not a huge amount of money. If I was wrong and I lost $150, I'm not going to cry about it. So it's like, take the risk, go for it. And these are the opportunities for returns that you can get. It's just astounding. And following the money, the big money, the guys who are actually making these markets move. And you see on this list that I'm showing you here, this is the insider trading, and this is from a few days ago. I can show you the real live guys right now. So this is what's going on, right? These guys, I can get every transaction in the market, because with the options, every trade is public. So it's a public thing. It's like a FOI, freedom of information. You can see who's buying what and who's selling what and who's getting what. Actually, Bezos was on here the other day. He gave away 131,000 shares for 96 or 98 million to a charity of some kind, which didn't even put a dent in what he has. It's like 131,000 shares is like nothing. It's like giving away $131 in for him. But yeah, everybody's on this list, and you can look at this in all kinds of ways. So I can just sort it by the type of transaction that I want to see, and so on. So it's just amazing. And you see these CEOs selling out, their shares, or being awarded shares, or buying shares, and you take a look at the chart to see what's going on with it, and if you can discern what's going on, you can make some profits along with them. On this site here, there's also options, and we have unusual options activity. That's also huge on here, and that gives us a good insight into who's buying what contracts and so forth. I think this is the one that gives us the strike price and everything. Yes. So this one's really good. You get the actual type of option that's being played, a put or a call, the strike price, the expiry date. So somebody, for example, on this first line is buying, the 915 puts on Tesla for $3,000. And the volume on here is huge. It's 5,000 shares being traded. This one is 13,000. So there's a lot of activity on Tesla calls and puts. So it's always a battle. Who's correct? So the only way to know who's correct is to go to the chart and take a look at the chart. The chart is what tells us who's going to be right or who's going to be wrong. So you know, you look at the entire chart, you can discern from the pattern. And I think we looked at this the other day, who's actually correct and who's going to be incorrect, and you get a chance to make a decision as to, okay, you know, which way is this really going to go. So based on this pattern, you know, on the daily, you know, again, it looks like we're in this huge move to the downside. We've come back down to a previous support. We're chopping around right now. So here is a 1, 2, 3 top. This is a controlling 1, 2, 3 for this move. So it looks like, again, we're inside of a fourth wave area, and we could certainly fall to the downside. But of course, this is not going to take, this is not going to do this all of a sudden today. Of course, it could, of course, but it's more likely going to take a while to play out and, you know, eventually come down. So it looks like more to the downside at this point than to the upside, but we could get a push back to the upside first, and so on. So you have to be able to, you know, to get in there and discern what's going on. You just can't look at that page over here of unusual options activity and say, okay, I'm just going to go with a put or a call. You know, it's just, you have to be aware of what's going on. You know, otherwise, I mean, these calls and puts on Tesla are just super expensive. Most of the bids, you know, are very high, 1,500, $3,000, and so on. So, all right, let me take a look back at IWM here just to see what's going on with that. Got to keep my eye on the. Okay, so did what I was expecting. Let me drop down to the 1 minute again. Okay, so it's come back up into this area. It created a 1, 2, 3 bottom here. This is on the 1 minute chart, right? And so it looks like, again, that we're going to push back up into this area still. So I had an opportunity on my 204 puts to take some profit. It wasn't a huge profit because when I bought the puts, you know, price was up in this area, so it's not huge, probably not even the double of my money at that point. But that's why I decided not to take it. So I'll wait for the bigger move. But I have to be careful because I bought them for expiration today, so I need to exit today. So I have to be correct in this move that it's going to come back up into this area and then come back down. So if I'm wrong, then I will lose this. Well, I don't have to lose it, but I'll probably maybe break even or something like that, or at most a small loss. But the puts, the beauty of the puts, they're very inexpensive. I think I bought them yesterday for about 75 cents. And 75, they quote them in cents, 75 cents times 100 shares. So they give you 100 shares, and then you multiply that, and then you get the dollar amount, which is $75. Sorry, $75. So that's what they always quote. They quote everything in cents. So when we look at Tesla over here, it says it's $30, 30.35. You multiply that by 100, that gives you $3,035 for one contract. So it's very expensive. That's what we want to make on our play. Never mind buying that at that point for that amount. Okay, so again, it's a slow one, George. We're kind of stuck in the middle here. So let me take a look at the 4 charts again. And so on the 1 minute, it looks like we're going to retrace. On the hourly, we have a gap here, and it looks like we're just hanging there. 15 minute, we're just hanging there. but it does look still very weak. 5-minute time frame looks very weak. So this move could be over at this point here, and we're just going to head down. So you can see at this point here, the structure did create the structure. It's not a impulse structure like what we normally get, where an impulse means this point here does not break this point. In this case, we've broken it. So it can happen where you get the structure and it breaks and still creates that move, but that's not an impulse structure. It's just a different type of pattern. And you see them all the time in the charts. They call them diagonals, or they call them flats, or they call them triangles or zigzags, and there's all kinds of names for these. And yeah, this is kind of what's playing out. So again, it's formed a 1, 2, 3, and just pushing back to the downside. So really, I could have jumped in and bought some more puts here if I really wanted to, but no, I'm just going to hang on to the ones I've got and watch it play out here. So everything's looking rather weak. You can see on the hourly, we're really, really weak. The 15 minutes weak, the 5 minutes weak. So I would continue to expect further weakness as we continue on here. Anyone with any questions whatsoever, George, from the outside group?
Just watching along.
Okay.
Hello, Lennox.
Yes, sir.
Good morning from Scarborough.
That sounds like Christian.
Yep.
Oh, Kristen, you're it's almost 10 o'clock there. Oh, it is after 10. Wow.
Yeah, it's 10:16.
Yes. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Nice to hear you.
I just want to make you off. I've not been able to even join the Thursdays because I get tired when I come back.
Sorry, Kristen, can't hear you. We've got the same problem again with the microphone.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So my question, or maybe it's a comment, whichever way I want to look at it, is although I'm not really doing options because I can't trade it with FSCM. I'm still looking at the broker to get open with. But I want to, yeah. So my comment is, or observation or question is this: now you can go put, or you can shoot or put whatever language as in buy or sell. But wouldn't it be better, based on what we have been learning so far, to always take a trade that will go in the direction of the overall trend? Like when we look at the I 2000 whatever share or so. So would it not be better that, okay, the overall trend is down, looking at it from the weekly, is the overall trend is down on the A. So like what we're doing is a retracement. So wouldn't it be better for me to always look at when to get to the downside and not take the risk of going up? What do you think?
Okay, you're breaking up there a lot, so I'm trying to pick up what you're saying. So you're saying, isn't it better to go with the trend?
Yes.
The overall trend? Of course,
Yeah.
always. That's the whole point of the the 1, 2, 3. You want to be able to pinpoint where you are and go with the trend. Definitely, yes. So doesn't matter what time frame you're on, it still holds. And that if you don't do that, of course, then you're defeating the purpose of the pattern. So the time frame is irrelevant. It doesn't matter what time frame you're on. The patterns still play out the same way. It's just that they take a little longer on each time frame. So here I am in the Forex, and you can see right now the overall pattern on the 1 minute time frame is to the downside. So it behooves you to continue in that way if you're going to play, right? You find your 1, 2, 3, and you play it to the downside, because that's what the pattern is showing you. So it's not good to go against the the grain, like you're saying. Yes, so definitely that's the key to it. So it doesn't matter what the time frame is. Always, look at the over. And hence, again, the reason why I started the monthly, because from the monthly, if I look at this chart, just get, okay, why is it not over there? Okay, it's like, okay, that's all it's giving me on the monthly. Oh, I see. Okay, it's giving me that's the end. I'm thinking that I'm missing out on the chart, but that's what it's showing me here. It's just showing me from 2012. It doesn't show me anything else. So yeah, if I'm looking at this chart and on the monthly, and we were here, we can see that we've been in an overall uptrend and we're getting a pullback. So at this point here, I'd be looking for a 1, 2, 3 to continue the trend, and looking for a breach of this point, kind of thing, right? So that's the same thing as if we're on. This could be a 1-minute chart, and it'd be the same type of scenario. So you have to always go with the trend. So at this moment in time, our trend is to the downside, and so ideally you want to go with the trend on the higher time frame. But when you come down to the lower time frame, like the minute, you can go in either the minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. You can go in either direction as long as you're aware of where you are. Actually, on any time frame, you can go in either direction as long as you know where you are, right? Because even on the monthly, it is possible. Yes, we're in an overall uptrend, but if you get a pullback, you could play that to the downside on the lower time. You can play these, the counter trend moves. So as long as you're aware of where you are in the structure, you can come here and say, okay, I know that I'm at this third wave. I can play this to the downside in a fourth wave, depending on what time frame you're on. So yes, I hope that kind of answers your question a little bit there. So hourly, we're totally in a downward mode. You can see, so be looking for price to come back down into this area. 30-minute, we're still in a down. We're still in a downward. We've had this nice push to the upside, but we're in a downward mode right now, and you want to continue as long as it continues that way. So, but you can play this on, on the. See, I'm running the EA on in the Forex, just letting the EA do the work. It's in gold right now, so it's bought in gold. Let's see what gold looks like. Let's see if it's doing the right thing. And that's probably on the hourly. So yeah, it's made a buy in gold at this point. Stop loss is way down here. So gold 4-hour daily. So on the daily, we're certainly pushing very strongly. We're at a resistance though, so we're in a resistance area. So it's a battle right now for gold. It was doing quite well, then had a big pullback just yesterday, I think. So it's trying again to make a push back to the upside. So it's formed a 1, 2, 3, and then another 1, 2, 3, and yet another, and it's trying to push out now. So looking good for that. It should continue to the upside here, it looks like. But this is very much a sideways type pattern. So, have to be careful in here as well. This could fall one more time because it's very much a sideways type affair. So there's not a clear 1, 2, 3 at this point, but there is one there, but it's not as, it's super clear as normal. So let's go to the 15, take a look at that. Okay, so you can see it kind of had a very choppy pattern here, and then it formed a 1, 2, 3. Could have been like right down to here even, drop down. So it looks like this is more of a fourth wave area. So I'd be super careful in here about this pushing to the upside. So based on that, seeing this, you know, I don't usually mess with the EA, but if I had to, and you know, I could maybe push my stop up to here just to mitigate any loss. And I would do that more so if I got a break of this level here, I could then move my stop up just to help the EA out, if you know, because I'm seeing it. But I don't usually mess with the EA. I just kind of leave it alone. So you have to remember the EA doesn't know where it is on the chart, so it's just following its rules and taking the trade. Okay, I'll put my US 2000 back on. Okay, so this guy, you can see we're really battling today, and it's can't make up its mind which way it wants to go. So hence the reason I didn't want to jump back into any positions, just kind of stay with the position I have. And okay, so hourly 15. Are they coming to a break here, to a break point? This still looks very weak on the 5-minute. We could still drop through. You have a 1, 2, 3 here. You could still drop through. So you know, you can play this on, you know, again in the forex market, you can play these guys no problem. The same way we're doing in the stocks. If you don't want to play the options, you just play the same buy and sell. So it's the same type of thing. Let me just quickly take a look at so another thing that we do in the forex. We look at the US dollar index. How's our time? 7:20. Okay, so we got about another 5 minutes here, and then I'll call it, because the market's really slow. You can see it's going to be another one of those days. But again, my expected move is to the downside, so we'll see how that plays out. So the US dollar, this is US dollar. US dollar index, let's go up to the daily, the weekly, the monthly. Okay, so US dollar index, we've come to a support. We're pushed up very strongly from a 1, 2, 3, and the overall trend is up. On the weekly, we're still moving to the upside. So you can see that we're in this very strong move to the upside. Every time we come back to this line, we bounce off it, and expected that we still could. We're at a very important area though, because we've been previous support for a long time, so we could. That's why we're probably having a little bit of a battle in there on the US dollar. On the daily, made quite a move up, drop back. This is similar to gold in a sense here. Same type of thing, trying to push back to the upside, but having a little bit of a struggle. 4 hour, still trying to push back to the upside. Okay, so we have a 1, 2, 3, another 1, 2, 3. So if we break this level, then this could be ominous, because we do have a 1, 2, 3 at this point controlling this move. So this could be a 4th wave, and then we're heading down. So care has to be taken in here on from the 4 hour time frame that we're weak. So this will give us what this tells us then is that on the euro should be showing a little bit of strength at this point. So the euro should be pointing to the upside, and that's what it's doing. So we're getting a push to the upside for the euro, and that would hold true for the Aussie, and the Aussie is pushing to the upside. You can see this one a lot clearer. It's 1, 2, 3 bottom. We're pushing to the upside, and the GBP also pushing to the upside. Although GBP has been in quite a mess here, and New Zealand also will be pushing to the upside, and it too is in a struggle. It's trying, but it's not as strong as Aussie. And then conversely, we have the USD CAD, which should be pushing down. and it too is mired in this mess on the 4-hour. So it's trying to push to the downside here, just like the US dollar. USD Swiss should also be pushing down, and it is as well. And lastly, USD JPY should be pushing with the US dollar to the downside, and it also is, it's struggling. You can see but it's pushing to the downside a little bit. So the US dollar index is the key for the major pairs, and by understanding what the US dollar is doing, that helps us to see what the major currencies are doing, and that gives you an opportunity to jump in and make some plays. But it's always good to make sure that it's clean and clear, and you can see it. You don't want to play when it's messy. So that's that, and let's take a look at Bitcoin. So on a personal level, what I've done with Bitcoin, I've instituted a regular buying of Bitcoin. I can't buy Bitcoin at these prices, 43,000. I can't buy one Bitcoin for 43 grand. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to buy a Bitcoin for 43,000. So I put on a regular buying. So every week I buy a little bit of Bitcoin. And it's just like a savings. You just throw some money into it. So every week I just buy whatever the price is at, just buy it. And over time it'll accumulate, and that's it. If it does fall, I would buy more, and that's basically it. But so that's one way of getting into this world of Bitcoin, is to do something like that. That's just on my own personal. I'm not saying that you should do that, but it's just a good way. For instance, my daughter has a company, an Airbnb type company, where she rents out suites to people from all over the world who want to come to Victoria and so forth. And so I told her to advise her to buy Airbnb stock, and so she bought Airbnb stock, and then on a monthly basis she just keeps buying, no matter what the price is. Just put a set amount every month, and that way she just accumulates Bitcoin. Oh, sorry, Airbnb. And in 5 years, 10 years from now, who knows? See how that goes. So it's just a nice way, forced investment type of thing, forced savings, as it were. So yeah, Bitcoin is in a little bit of a struggle, you can see. So we have a 1, 2, 3 at this point. It should push a little higher, but overall it's still in the battle, trying to make it back. I think it still has another drop to come, but we'll see. All right, let me put this back on my US 2000, back to the 1 minute. Okay, wow. Okay, so it's made, still really trying hard here, eh? Retracing. So it looks like it wants to push back to the upside. Let me go back to here. All right. Still with me, George? Or George left, actually. He said he was going to be leaving, so he's probably left. So it's just me here, guys. It's 7:34. I'm going to call it a morning, and we'll see how this plays out by the afternoon. Again, the expectation here is for continued downside, even though we're pushing to the upside right now. This is more on a 1, 2, 3 and we're going to push back down before the end of the day. So we'll see how that plays out. I'll see everyone at 3 o'clock Eastern, and we can see how this all plays out today.
Thanks, Lennox.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Thank you.
Hopefully you're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Hope that was helpful. All right. So thanks to everyone for joining us. We really appreciate it. And again, hope you found something a little helpful here this morning. All right. So we'll see everyone at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.